What is up, weirdos? How are you? Happy Wednesday. Thank you all for being down to reschedule last night's stream so we could participate in Blackout Tuesday. I know it's been a really, really intense week for not all of us in the US, but also there have been protests going on around the world. And yeah, so thank you guys for allowing this group of people to participate in Blackout Tuesday. I, wow, it's really been such an intense week, and I do want you guys to have a little opportunity here to have some fun, talk about a great movie, or as some people in the chat already said, maybe they didn't love the most, but that's okay. But I do just want to say, Black Lives Matter, people. And if you can't understand that, then you're in the wrong horror movie club. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. Do what you can to help. Take care of your mental health. Sign petitions. Donate if you can. Go to protests if you are able and willing. And do your best. And do your best to be good people, most importantly. So, let's go ahead. And I just wanted to say all that before we start because I think it's actually not helpful to just come on here and pretend the world is not, burning. But a little bit of a positive note about that um, is that it's interesting because it's in an article I read back when the main news story was coronavirus and talking about how certain structures are going to burn down and, die because of what's going on, and how that might not be a bad thing because sometimes things need to burn down so you can build a better version. So, just saying. Okay, let's hop in the chat. See who is here today. We have Mark, we have Stacy, who really didn't seem to love the movie, but that's okay. I can't wait to hear why. It's a freaking crazy movie. We have Ange Wished, we have Robert, we have, let's see, scrolling. We have Larry, we have Sarah, we have Danielle. Oh, all my late nighters. You guys are so good. I swear to God, I'm so exhausted and it's 8 p.m. here. You guys are incredible. Let's see. David, hello. We have 93J Rowe. Hello. Let's see. And Brandon. Okay, cool. I hope I didn't miss anyone. And also, yes, sorry. Sarah also just put a comment in here. If you're international, you can watch videos on YouTube, and the AdSense money goes to the Black Lives Matter movement. That is true. So there are other ways to help if you're not able to actually donate monetarily right now. But yes, let's get into this movie. Also, you know what? As I get started, as I'm gonna start pulling some stuff up for you guys, I'd also love if you guys in the chat could say something that brought you some joy or lightness this week, whether it was a movie you watched or just something good that happened, just to spread a little bit of love and positivity in the group. But yeah, or it's like maybe you donated to something you had never heard from before and you were excited about that. It can literally be anything to do with the political climate right now or not. But I do want everyone to spread a little bit of positivity in here while we're all here together. And I'll go first. My little bit of positivity is that I've been doing some at-home workouts this week, and I am someone who has never, since I graduated high school, I would say never been consistent in any kind of exercise or anything like that. And I have been doing like a workout challenge. It's called the Chloe Ting 2-week shred. It's very viral right now on YouTube. But I'm on day 7 now, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying working out, and that is huge for me because I typically hate working out. So now it's your turn. Let's see. Okay. Also in the chat we have Arkham, and hello, we have Ollie. So glad you guys are all here. Dakotes, ooh, new to the channel. What's up? Welcome. Glad you're at Horror Movie Club. All right. So we do. Let's see some bits of good news in here. Danielle, you got a good grade on your last post-grad project. Yes, you win. We're proud of you. We're all proud of you. Good job. Let's see. Stacy watched House on Haunted Hill with your family. Amazing. That's great. And counseled someone who has the same disease that you do how to better live with it. That is beautiful. That is amazing. Oh my God. I'm like, any good news right now, I'm just like, yes, thank you. That's amazing. Let's see. Our Cam had a great time trying to find a free online copy of Happily Never After. I've never seen that, but I'm intrigued. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. Ollie, oh, we're glad you can be here early today, too. I'm so happy you're here. I know sometimes you have to come in at the end, and I'm delighted that you're here early today. Let's see. Mark's been babysitting her niece all week. Got to sing her Imagine by John Lennon. That is amazing and beautiful. I love that. Let's see. You guys are so awesome. Ben is here. That's also great. Yes, it's good news. It's amazing. Let's see. We have Aaron in the chat. Hello. All right. You guys can keep bringing stuff up, but let's go ahead and get into this freaking... Oh, my God. There's a gnat. There's a gnat. It's okay. This freaking crazy movie. So this is actually a movie that, weirdly enough, I would say my boyfriend knows even better than I do, and he doesn't typically like horror movies. But he really loved this movie because the title track, Killer Clowns, was written and performed by a band called The Dickies, and that's how we're going to start today. So The Dickies are a punk band, and Travis's band Fat Heaven also opened for them a few years ago in New York, which is very, very cool. But that punk rock anthem that this movie has is by that band, which is really cool. And so that's kind of what starts this movie off. But a little general information. This movie came out in 1988. It is sci-fi, it is horror, it is comedy, it is all of the above, baby. It is crazy. It was a family project, I'll say, written, directed, and produced by the Chiodo brothers, who they had like a little film production company, I think, and they specialized in a lot of special effects stuff. They worked on Critters. They worked on Ernst Scared Stupid. Did anyone ever watch all the Ernst movies like back in the day? I remember like Ernst Saves Christmas. He had like a bunch of those movies, but they worked on one of those. Let's see. And some other things as well. But they also are known for some clay animation, which is awesome. But they had this idea for this movie. They sort of brought all of their talents together to make it happen. So the brother that directed it was Steven Chiodo. And then he and his brother Charles are credited with the writing of it. And then the other brother, I think, is listed as a producer. I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty sick. And currently, it actually is the only film written and directed by these Chiodo brothers, and I really think they should do another one personally. This also has had a sequel in the works basically since the movie came out, so many, many years in the making. And just a little like most recently, the newest development is that Sci-Fi, I think, what has bought the rights to Killer Clowns, the Sci-Fi Channel. And I think they are going to be working on the sequel that we have probably all been waiting for. But it's very, very cool. Let's see. Oh, we have a few people that this is their first time watching it. That's awesome. I watched this like a little while back, but I think it was last year. It was only last year that I saw this for the first time. And on my rewatch today, it's one of those movies that I actually feel like I could watch over and over. It's so like delightful. It's so bright. It's so colorful. It's so silly. There are like really fun, like weird practical effects going on. The characters are like, fun enough. Obviously, the clowns are incredible. And where's my, hold on. Sorry, almost forgot to have my White Claw in my hand. I have switched back from beer to White Claw because he's more delicious. Okay. So, what was I just saying? As soon as I get a claw in my hand, I can't remember what I was talking about. That's fine. Oh, I was gonna say, also which I think I mentioned in the Horror Club trailer, which was very weird this month. Sorry, I didn't know what to do. But I did go to the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal this year, and they had a Killer Clowns from Outer Space haunted house, and it was so fun. And now that I've rewatched the movie, I can really say how accurate that haunt was to the film. Like everything they had near, first of all, they had like legit clown heads, like they looked straight up from the movie. But even all the cotton candy cocoons and just like all the parts you had to walk through were so straight up out of the movie. And so on the rewatch, I feel like I got to like fully appreciate how well done that was at Universal this year. I'm very sad because I have first of all, I don't even know what's going to happen with Universal with Horror Nights this year. Will it happen? Will it not? I don't know. But either way, I probably wouldn't be able to go 2 years in a row, but you never know. Okay. Oh, also, yes, Martin's in here. Hello. You haven't missed too much yet. We're sorry, I just started talking about everything. Danielle, you just found out what a White Claw is? Is that like a super US thing? I actually don't know. Yes, and Black Cherry Claw is truly the best. It's the best flavor. And I don't like cherry flavored things typically, but it truly is the best. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about some of the cast. So first of all, our main dude, the character's name is Mike Tobacco, which I think is funny. And he is played by Grant Kramer. And then our leading lady, the character's name is Debbie Stone, is played by Suzanne Snyder. And I was on her IMDb today because I thought she looked familiar in the movie. And it was fun to see some of her other films that she's been in. So she was in Weird Science. She played Deb in that, so clearly she looks like a Debbie. She was Brenda in Return of the Living Dead. Let's see. She was in Femme Fatale. She was in... Oh, sorry. She was in Return of the Living Dead 2. Is that what I said? I'm not sure if that's what I said. But yeah, just like a super 80s actress. And then we have John Allen. So those are our two teens, excuse me. And then we have John Allen Nelson, who plays Dave Hansen. We have John Vernon, who plays Curtis. And then, funny enough, so Christopher Titus, who people seem to know his work. I don't really know who he is, to be perfectly honest with you. But he is also in this movie and apparently seems to be the most successful actor to go on to do the most things after this. But once again, I don't really know who he is, so I don't know. But that is some of our cast, and I think let's go into some plot now so we can get to all the fun, silly things. Okay, so the movie starts out very much like almost like an homage to like 50s horror films. So you have like this couple on Lover's Lane, classic. They are making out in the back of a car. Just what more can one ask for? They are laying on a raft in the back of a car, which is strange. And I did look this up because I was like, is that supposed to mean something? And apparently there was some other like dialogue in that scene that was about why the raft was in the back of the car. But they cut it because there was too much exposition. So they cut anything that would have made that make sense. But I think it doesn't really matter. So they see basically what at first they see a strange glowing object. We'll say that shoot across the sky. They don't know if it's a meteor, a UFO. It's just very exciting, most exciting thing they ever saw. Um, Ooh, Ben just said I thought they were high schoolers for forever, but I guess they are college students. I think you're right actually, because the fact that the girl that Debbie had dated the police officer makes me assume that they actually are a little older than high school. But whenever I see a movie, if the main characters look young-ish and they're gonna fight the bad guy, I just always assume they're high schoolers because that's like the classic formula. Except for okay, this is a tangent. Quick tangent, quick sidebar. In Gremlins, okay, in Gremlins, like the main dude, who always assumed to be a teenager, works as a teller at a bank as his job, but lives at home with his parents. His age is so confusing in that movie. I'm like, are you like 20? Are you why don't you do you still why do you still with your parents? It's all very confusing. We're not talking about Gremlins though, so why am I bringing it up? I don't know. Okay. So basically, Debbie kind of convinces her boy, Mike, to go explore and see what the glowing object was. She's very excited about it. He's kind of like, no, let's make out. And she's like, something just flew across the sky. Let's go see it. So I am this girl in the movie, for sure. And I think they even mentioned that they think it's a comet. And so they try to go find it. And instead of finding, a big hole in the ground, they see a giant circus tent. Ooh! And this is really fun because we also have another guy, a farmer. In the movie, his name is Gene Green, which is cute. But he's on his front porch and he sees the glowing object fly across the sky. And he is funny. He immediately is like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be a tourist attraction." So he goes to try to check it out. And so he's sort of the first one that comes upon it, and he tries to touch the circus tent and realizes the whole thing is metal. It ends up electrocuting him, and it's this fun moment to be like, okay, I think I'm looking at a circus tent alien spaceship. It's like pretty quick to be like, that's sort of what's going on. Also, fun little fact: the movie initially was just called Killer Clowns, and sort of was based off this like storyboarding idea where one of the brothers was like, oh, one of my greatest fears would be to like be driving down the road, have to get out of the car, and there's like a clown there or something like that. And so they actually ended up including the From Outer Space because a lot of people were going to assume it was like a slasher film because that's what was very popular at the time. We're in '88. And so they wanted to make sure it was clear that this is not a slasher movie. This is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Oh my God, Sarah also, yes. The movie is not dog friendly. That's true. There is a dog that bites the dust, unfortunately. And at the beginning of a film, very, very out of control. Okay, so, ba-bum-bum. Okay, so the farmer man's captured. Then we have our young people showing up, Mike and Debbie, to investigate. And immediately they just enter the structure. Debbie's like, no, no, no. Mike's like, yes, yes, yes. And he pulls the old, would you be more afraid if you came with me or if you stayed here by yourself? Which the answer is always, of course, if I stayed here by myself. So she goes with him into this thing. And that's where we get, like, truly what the Universal Horror Haunt felt like. Just walking through all these bright neon colors, all these, like, very circusy clown-like things. It's just, like, so fun. Ugh, it's so much fun. And they pretty quickly find these cotton candy cocoons, which I think are sort of, like, maybe the most iconic thing of the film. There's a lot. There's actually a lot of things. But in terms of props, like, one of the most fun things. Let's see. Oh, we also have Geek Out Cinema in here. What's up? And okay, so the candy cane cocoons. At first, Mike's like, oh my god, maybe it's like a candy cane. Maybe it's like a cotton candy factory. And she's like, seems like a no. And they are then spotted by one of the clowns, who we've already seen at this point. You know, they're behind me, here, giant heads, very tall, very intimidating. uh, and he starts shooting at him with a popcorn gun. So the popcorn gun is another. There's just so many like iconic props in this movie. But the popcorn gun apparently was the most expensive thing to make. I think to make all of them, it cost like $7,000 or something, which is kind of a lot, I would say. But they wanted them to like actually work and be really cool. Um, and also while they're there, they do find they pull away part of one of the cotton candy cocoons, and when they pull it down, they see the face of Gene Green, and he's bloody and clearly, I think the idea is that the cotton candy cocoons basically turn humans into some sort of liquid-ish thing, which is gross. That the clowns can then stick a straw into the cocoon and drink the human liquid. So that's what's going on there. Okay, so Debbie and Mike then escape out of the clown tent, and they're chased by 3 clowns that have a balloon animal dog, which I think is very funny. And they're all chasing them. And they do escape, and they get to the police station, and the classic, it's like classic. They go to the police, they're like, this crazy thing is happening, and the police are like, oh, you crazy kids, come on. But that is mostly coming from the older cops. That's Deputy Curtis Mooney. He is just kind of a jerk. He's truly the worst character in this. But we needed a villain, because even though the killer clowns are technically supposed to be the villain, they're so fun. You don't mind that they're killing people, because it's just so silly and like over the top that like you really enjoy it. So they did need some kind of villain in the movie, and I think that really ends up being Deputy Curtis, who just doesn't believe anyone, is generally grumpy, and causing more problems than helping. We also have Lucian, I hope I said that correctly, that says ice cream for everyone. And you just reminded me that I should probably eat ice cream after this, and I can't wait. Meow. Okay, and then so the other cop, the young cop, that is Deputy Dave Hansen, who I already said played by John Allen Nelson, who happens to be Debbie's ex-boyfriend, Scandal. And this is kind of fun because I mean, maybe this is in other movies, but it felt unique to this plot when I was watching it. This idea of having 2 guys that have dated the same girl, that are all 3 together trying to defeat the killer clowns and trying to save lives. I just thought that was such a funny thing to like have them both having had date her and having this rivalry, but then ultimately having to work together. Just kind of a fun little thing. And basically they end up, so he believes them, supposedly. They end up taking Debbie home, and Mike and Dave together go to the woods so that Mike can show Dave what's happened here. And the circus tent has vanished. Classic. And there's just a big crater there, so of course Dave thinks like he was lying the whole time, and it's big to do. But in elsewhere in Lover's Lane, all the cars have been abandoned. You can see that the clowns have been there, have attacked, and then in the town where everyone lives in this movie, the clowns start to appear and cause shenanigans, which is just the best. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Ben said spiders have built-in straws, and Angela said, I almost thought you were saying spiders build nests in straws, which would be truly horrifying. Not interested in spiders. Okay, so, what's the first bit of shenanigans? Hold on, I'm going through the plot really quickly to find it. Yeah, so basically they're capturing townspeople. I think they even say at some point in the movie that maybe that these killer clowns have just stopped by Earth for a bite to eat. And that seems to sort of be what's happening. They're just collecting humans, putting them in cotton candy cocoons to basically um, marinate, I'll say, or something, so that they can eat later. But they go through a bunch of places, and one of my favorites is when one of the clowns goes in front of a store, and there is, I think it's like a gorilla or something, like a fake animatronic gorilla moving, and the clown pretends to also be like an animatronic clown. And then we have another sequence where the clowns go into the convenience store, and this poor little scared like pharmacist man is just terrified. And so all these people in town that are experiencing this start calling the cops, and who should answer but Deputy Curtis, who assumes everyone is trying to play a trick on him. Once again, just the worst character, just the worst. And just tells everyone to stop calling, stop, that none of this is real. He's just assuming. Um, and yes, so. And then the way that he finally convinced Mooney that any of this has happened is that a clown eventually arrives at the station itself. Also, some of these clown scenes I might not talk about in order because I kind of forget the order in which they happened. But just bear with me. So, the way that Mooney finally realizes that this is actually happening is one of the clowns just shows up at the station. And of course, at first, still, Mooney is like, ha ha, you're just like a teenager in a clown suit causing shenanigans. And so he tries to put the clown into a cell with other criminals. And the clown, of course, attacks him and turns him into sort of like a human marionette, which I think is just excellent. Some of my other favorite moments just throughout all the shenanigans that are going on. One is, so Debbie has, when she's been dropped off at home, she takes a shower, of course, because we're in a horror movie, and we cannot have a horror movie unless a girl takes a shower, apparently. And so she's clean, and she has knocked all this popcorn off of her clothing that was stuck to her from being in the tent with the popcorn gun. And so the popcorn ends up turning into what I think might be my favorite creatures of the movie, which are sort of these like long stem creatures. It's like a clown head with a very long stem that goes down, and they're just so weird and creepy looking. They're really kind of my favorite part. I don't know how to describe. They're almost like snakes or something, but with clown heads on them. And they're trying to attack her. She actually gets away pretty well in that scene. I'm shocked she doesn't get bitten or anything. But I do think it's very. Ben just said she, as in Debbie, spent half the movie in the bathroom. That is so true. There's something about the way this movie is cut that's a little bit strange, where we don't see Debbie for such a long time, and then when we come back, she's still in the shower or she's still in the bathroom, and you're just like, why has she never left the bathroom? She's been in there for like a very long time. But I think that's just sort of how the movie ended up being cut together. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Let's see. Another one of my favorite moments is when they throw all the pies at, I think it's at another deputy, right? And they actually ended up using real pies in that scene, and that's when the guy's like totally covered in pies, and he ends up melting down. It basically, it's sort of like acid and takes basically all the skin and muscle off his bones, and he's just like a mass of grossness and a skeleton. But they ended up actually using real pies for that, because typically in clown culture, I don't know, they use whipped cream pies because they're less heavy and they're less painful when you get hit with them. But getting hit with a real pie is apparently kind of painful. So they had to figure out how to shoot that scene in a safe way for the actor because they really wanted actual pies, which I think is silly. I just saw on the Wikipedia page, they say in terms of the cocoons that they're creating gelatinized blood that people can drink. So I love that wording. Gelatinized townspeople's blood. Just freaking wild. I don't know if anyone saw on my Instagram, but I did this is a few days ago, but I did a VHS haul, and I talked about this movie from my childhood that I now own on VHS called Magic in the Mirror, where this girl goes into this mirror world where there are these human-sized ducks. I truly wonder if that movie was inspired by this movie. Human-sized ducks that make tea, drinking tea, out of human bodies. Like they seep human bodies in boiling water to make tea. Children's movie. Incredible. But now I'm like, I'm wondering if like that was like inspired by this movie. I have no idea. I'm making it up, but it sounds possible. Let's see here. Okay, and so finally we have to like launch us into, I guess, the last bit of the movie, not even the last third, but just like the last big sequence, is Debbie's capture. So Debbie's house basically gets raided by the clowns. It's honestly so much fun. By the end of it, her entire house is covered with like sparkly ribbons and all this just clown shit everywhere. It's just amazing. I just love it. But she ends up being captured. But instead of putting her in a cotton candy cocoon, they put her in sort of this balloon thing that is more like protecting her than anything else. And I'm not really sure why they do that, but it's good that they do because we want her to live at the end. So they see her get captured, Mike and Dave, and they decide that they're going to go and rescue her. Also, I didn't mention the Terenzi brothers, but there's also these two brothers that are riding around this ice cream truck and trying to pick up girls with ice cream. Never really works, though I like ice cream, so I don't know. But they're sort of these like doofy characters. It's almost like they're supposed to be a little... If they had like a little more physical comedy to them, they're supposed to be like a little like Three Stooges-esque, I think, but never quite got there or something. I'm not sure. But they're all four now going to rescue Debbie. And they basically end up going to this amusement park where the tent is now, the UFO circus tent. And they had to basically go through a fun house of the clown's lair to find her. And they eventually do, but there's all these like fun things. Like there's a giant clown that attacks, just so much goodness. And they eventually do break out. And then we sort of have this very last section where Jojo, so the giant clown, Jojo the Clownzilla, who is actually played by one of the writers, Charles Chiodo, which is a fun little thing. He descends from the ceiling, breaks free from his strings, and attacks. And he ends up destroying the ice cream truck and supposedly killing those brothers, but they actually end up living. And Dave creates a distraction in which they can all escape. So first, Mike and Debbie just get out, and then Dave ends up driving out with the brothers. All of them end up surviving, which I think is kind of crazy that there's so many, even though there's a lot of deaths in the town, there's a lot of survivors in terms of our core group of characters, which is very surprising in this film. But in order to escape, hold on. Wait, let me check this. I can't remember if this is before or after the escape. Oh, so this is before. So when Jojo is the giant Clownzilla is attacking Dave, the policeman, remember? He ends up taking off his badge and popping the clown's nose, which causes him to explode with fireworks and explode basically the entire ship. Which brings me to these clowns' weakness. So they had to figure out the Achilles heel of these clowns, and what they ended up deciding on is popping the clown nose, which I think was like such a perfect idea. Apparently, it kind of is inspired by How to Kill Zombies, which is by shooting them in the head. And they decided for a clown, it has to be in the nose. And he finds out earlier in the movie when sort of accidentally hits a clown in the nose, or not accidentally, but he's shooting a clown in the chest. It's not dying. Hits him in the nose. He has this. He turns into almost like a green crystal, almost it looks like the Sims little crystal thing, and then eventually explodes. It's out of control. It's out of control. Oh, yes, Martin just said, I have no clue what happened with the brothers and the female clowns. Yes, there's this very weird moment where the two brothers, while they're sort of in this funhouse, they fall into a ball pit, and then they are confronted by these two lady clowns that have giant boobs that actually sort of grow and change in size like balloons. Very exciting. And we don't really see what happens with them, but what I assume by the way the brothers show up at the very end is that they might have got laid by the clowns. And apparently it was a wild experience. But that's what I assume happens. They don't really show it. Okay, let's see. Yes, and then at the end, the group of people that all survived shockingly watch those fireworks. And oh yes, and then the very last thing is the pies falling from the sky and kind of hitting them in the face, which is funny because it feels like it's just supposed to be this sort of like cute, fun button at the end of the movie for all these pies to fall on our main characters. But if we remember, the pies are like full of acid that are gonna like take the skin and muscles off their bones. So I actually, when I was watching it the second time, I was like, are they all gonna die now? Is that how the movie is ending? Or is the movie ending by like just like a cute ending? I don't know. Let me know what you think the ending means. Let's see. Ben says the unrated version shows everything. I didn't even really know that there was an unrated version. I'm trying to even I'm like, what did I watch? I wonder if I can look. Killer Clowns. Unrated. I don't really see an unrated version. Or is that a joke? Can't tell if you're kidding. Oh, dang it, Ben. I just literally Googled that. Okay, well, I'll put that away. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't even think I told you, or I guess I mentioned it last week that I was getting a new computer, which is thrilling because my computer was never meant to handle YouTube because I got it years and years before I started YouTube. But I got a new computer, which is so thrilling, but I'm not actually using it yet because I realized at 8 o'clock that it takes a million hours to figure out the streaming stuff. So I actually just ended up pulling out my old computer and just like streaming this today so I can figure out the new computer later. But it's very exciting. I'm hoping once I am streaming on the new computer, everything will be awesome. I'll be able to have guests again. It won't not work anymore. I'm hoping. I don't know. Okay, so is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Because that's basically the plot. Let me just check. Let's see. I think that's about it. I'm looking in the chat. Ooh, you guys are mentioning the shadow puppet scene. Yes, that is an awesome moment. I don't think they really included that in the Universal Horror Nights moment. But yes, that is a really cool part of this movie. Very well done. Very good call. Also, from what I can tell, I think this was about a $2 million movie. I'm pretty sure that's what I looked up earlier. But most of the budget was actually not used on the practical effects because the Chiodo brothers are so well equipped to do all this stuff because this is what they specialize in, that they barely spent any money on all this stuff. And I was just like, that's kind of amazing because, like, that's all what makes the movie. Like, the shadow puppet stuff, the clown heads, the pies, like, all the silliness, all the effects. Apparently were, like, mostly the cheapest part of the movie because they already knew how to do them, which I just think is super fun. Ooh, okay, Ben said another one. The biker bar scene, yes. A clown shows up. A biker is, like, trying to be a tough guy, and the clown just takes his head off. It's so good. It's so silly. I just love it. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Ben, you're out of control. The after credit scene was hilarious. If there is an after credit scene, I don't even want to know at this point because I just feel like it's a lie. Okay. I think that's basically all I wanted to talk about. To be clear, I love this movie. I can understand it being one of those movies for people that's like a little too dumb or something like that. Like, I totally get that. But for me, I just think it's so creative, so silly. Just, I don't know, so enjoyable. Like, there's so much fun and lightness. And honestly, truly, I think part of it too for me was when I was rewatching it today, like, this has, I think, for everyone been a really hard week. And to just watch something so light and ridiculous brought me a lot of joy. So I think it was definitely good for that, for sure. Okay. So before we get off, I'm obviously going to let you guys know what the rest of the month is going to be. That's very exciting. But as I pull it up, I do want you guys to tell me in the chat which clown was your favorite. You can just say by, like, either their gag or their hair color or whatever makes you fun, whatever's fun for you. And also, or which, like, gag was your favorite, if that makes sense. So for me, I really love the snake things in the bathroom, and I really love Clownzilla at the end. I think that's super, super fun. So let me know what you guys like the most as I pull up the rest of the month. Let's see here. Okay. Ooh, okay, let's see. Oh, this is surprising, guys. These are surprise. Okay, one of them is not surprising, but I am surprised by one of the choices. So, before I tell you what it is, I love suspense. Let's see what you guys like. Okay. So Stacy says silly straw clown. Martin says, oh, just wanting some goofy camp, absolutely. Sarah says, I like the clowns with the heart-shaped chocolate box. Absolutely. Love that. Let's see. Shadow puppet. The pizza box. Love, love, love. Biker bar. Excellent. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our picks for the rest of the month. And I think it's 4 weeks, right? Hold on, actually, I can just pull up a calendar right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we actually get 4 picks this time, which is very exciting. So the first pick, the overwhelming response, which I was not shocked by at all, was, of course, Alien from 1979. This is exciting. We might mention the sequels if people want to talk about them in that episode, but we'll mostly be focusing on the first one. But I think we have to start with that one because it's so beloved. Next, we have Ghosts of Mars from 2001. That one I was kind of surprised people voted for. That's the John Carpenter one, right? I've never seen it. Isn't it John Carpenter? Am I wrong? I'm correct. Thank God. So I've never seen that, but the images look crazy and, like, really fun. So I'm hoping that one's really a good time. third place, we have Event Horizon 1997, which I've never seen. I'm so excited. I mean, to be perfectly fair, I don't know anything. I don't know a lot of outer space horror movies other than Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Alien. Like, truly, it's just not a subgenre I looked at much. But excited to learn. Also, Geek Out Cinema, thank you. I did just read your comments. I appreciate that you've been with me since the beginning. I'm glad you think my channel is growing fast. I'm thrilled by it every day. I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. And thank you all for being here. Okay, so far we have Alien, we have Ghost of Mars, we have Event Horizon, and the last one, oh no, it might be a tie. Oh shit. It's a tie. I might have to flip a coin. It's between Jason X and Prometheus. I don't even know if I have a coin. 1 second. Okay, hello. I have this little thing that's sort of like a coin. So we're going to flip this. On the back, there is words. On the front, there is a tiny wolf thingy. So we're just going to flip for it. So let's see. Let's say Jason X is the wolf. Prometheus is the words. And we're going to flip it. Okay. This is so exciting, so thrilling. Okay, ready? 1, 2. Okay, that didn't really flip. Hold on. I might have to, like, flip it. It is Prometheus. I'm trying to show you, but I couldn't. Okay, that's cool. Another one I've never seen, but I've never seen most of these, so who am I to say? But that one's the 2012 sci-fi horror. Oh, it's got a 73 on Rotten Tomatoes. People seem to like it. Okay, that's good. Cool. So that is, once again, and we will go in, I think we'll go in year order. So we'll start with Alien, then we'll move on to, just lost it, Ghost of Mars, then we'll do Event Horizon, and then we'll do Prometheus. Sound good? I will tweet this out later, probably this evening. But that's it. Oh, Ben says Prometheus is a prequel to Alien. See how little I know, people? Nothing. I know nothing. But that's great. Thank you. So that's what we're going to do. I'm excited. There were a couple on here that I was intrigued by that I might watch just in addition. You guys don't have to. But I was really intrigued by Sunshine because a lot of people told me that they really liked that movie. And also Pitch Black. I was intrigued by that one as well. But I'm not sure if I'll get to them or not, but let's see. Oh, Mr. Toby. Toby. He's right here. Come here. Come here. Give me. Come on. Get up here. His head's right by the computer. Come on. Here he is. He is such a good boy. He's happy to see you. He says, "Happy Wednesday, everyone." Oh, he's such a good boy. He is truly the joy of my life in every way. Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up on comments. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Angewish says, wasn't it kind of considered separate from the canon? It's possible. I don't know. Truly don't know. Hello, 8-Bit Horse. Glad you're here as well. I don't know if I said hi to you yet. But yeah, he's trying to push me away. He's saying, "Mommy, let me sleep. Mommy, let me sleep." But don't you want to talk? No. No. Yes, thank you to everyone who was so sweet in the comments after Toby got abducted by aliens. It was so hard to get him to sit there because he was terrified of the little UFO I cut out of paper, like a 5-year-old. And he was doubly terrified of the lights. He hates those lights because the little dots, like the little like star dots, he's just terrified by and runs away from. But it's the funniest thing in the whole world. Ugh, I love him so much. But yeah, okay. So I think that's it for tonight, guys. I'm very excited to be embarking on this outer space horror month because I know so little about it. Like honestly, I've seen Alien, but the rest of them I haven't seen. So I can't wait. It's gonna be thrilling. It's gonna be thrilling. Um, and I think that's it. So thank you all so much. Thank you for bringing a lot of positivity in my life today. I truly, truly appreciate it. Once again, I know it's a tough week, but keep signing petitions, keep donating to bail funds, keep trying to help people in whatever little ways you can. You guys are awesome. Love you. Thank you all for being here. And have a nice scream. Bye-bye.